Originality comes with imperfection. And when you embrace your child's imperfections, you're not just raising a better child, you're raising a more empathetic human being. Let that sink in. In a world of filters, photoshopped smiles, and perfectly curated family moments, we often forget one thing. Real life is messy, and so is parenting, and so are our children. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Perfection is a myth, and chasing it in your child can lead to something dangerous, not just pressure, but a crisis of identity. Let's paint a picture. Imagine a boy. He's constantly trying to fit into the shoe you gave him, the one labeled doctor or genius or quiet and obedient. But it doesn't fit. He limps, he struggles, he tries harder. But the more he tries, the more he fails. And one day, he stops trying. Not because he's lazy, but because he's convinced he'll never be enough. Not for you, not for anyone. This is the beginning of rebellion. Not because he hates you, but because he couldn't live up to the version of himself you created. But what if you embraced his imperfections? What if you said, you don't have to be perfect to be loved in this house. You don't have to shine to be seen by me. You see, when a child is seen fully and truly, even in their flaws, they begin to grow. They develop empathy because they've felt it, resilience because they're not afraid to fall, delayed gratification because they're not performing, they're maturing. But here's the challenge. You can't give what you haven't received. If you're a parent who was never allowed to be imperfect, if you were raised to hide your flaws behind a smile, then your child's imperfection might trigger something painful in you. Maybe it reminds you of your own, and so you put up a facade and expect your child to do the same. But that's not parenting, that's performance. And eventually, performances end. Masks fall off, and what's left is often a broken child and a confused parent. Let's dive into 5 practical ways to embrace your child's imperfections and change your parenting forever. 1. Separate the behavior from the child. What it means: children make mistakes. That doesn't mean they are a mistake. Don't say, "You're so careless." Say, "That was a careless decision. What do you think you could do differently next time?" Why it matters. When a child hears negative labels too often, they begin to wear them like an identity badge. Practical tip: create a mistake-friendly home. Say, "In this house, mistakes are lessons, not labels." Have a "what did I learn today" moment every evening. 2. Reflect on your own story. What it means: before reacting, ask yourself, why is this bothering me so much? Is it really about your child or your own childhood? Example: maybe your child speaks up and you call it rudeness, but maybe you were raised to stay silent. Insight: parenting from your unhealed wounds passes them on. Practical tip: journal your triggers. Ask, what did they do? How did it make me feel? When was the first time I felt this way? 3. Praise effort, not just outcome. What it means: don't only praise the wins, praise the work. Real praise: you kept going even when it got hard. You didn't give up. That matters more than being the best. Why it works: kids learn that effort is valuable and perfection isn't the goal. Practical tip: create an effort jar. Celebrate the journey, not just the result. 4. Listen without trying to fix. What it means: sometimes your child doesn't need answers, they need presence. Example: if they're upset after a failed test, don't say, "Next time study harder." Say, "That must have been really disappointing. Want to talk about it?" Why it matters: listening without judgment builds emotional safety. Practical tip: try this 3-step response. 1. Validate. That sounds really tough. 2. Empathize. I've felt that too. 3. Ask, want help or just need me to listen? 5. Share your own imperfections. What it means: don't be perfect, be real. Example: if you forgot something important, say, "I messed up, I forgot your event, I'm really sorry." Why it matters: when you model humility, your child learns it's okay to fail. Practical tip: have a family flop Friday. Everyone shares one mess up and what they learned. Laugh, learn, celebrate imperfection. When you embrace your child's imperfections, you teach them not to fear failure. You teach them to accept themselves. You teach them that love is not a reward for perfection, but a gift that stays no matter what. The world will try to change your child, but let your home be the one place where they are safe to be real. because every child needs someone who sees the beauty in their broken parts and still says, "You're enough."